Alright, hey guys, uPro here back for another cast for you guys. Now this is going to be week number 5 between uPro Legends Multigaming team, between Show Some Skills clan. And yeah, so let's just hop right into this. Now the map is the first series is going to be the 2v2 series, and the first map is going to be played on at Dante's Peak SE. You can spawn in the 2, 5, and 8, 11, 2, 5, 8, and 11 o'clock positions. Now, of course, since it's a 2v2, you're going to be spawning in all those positions here. So it's up here, 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 and here. And these are pretty worthless stats. Came out around 2011, so a fairly recent map. But this is probably mainly for a 1v1 map because it's coming from Kespa, I believe, even though the Kespa logo isn't there. And yeah, pretty much this map. The one thing to note though is that if you do get cross positions, or just pretty much any position really, these ridges are going to make it very difficult for your opponent to get through. If there are, you know, ranged units up there, it's going to be very, very annoying to get up that ramp. So without further ado, why don't we just start hopping into this game, ladies and gentlemen, because that's, well, you guys want to see some Brood War, I want to see some Brood War, so let's get into it. If I can change the overlay, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Alright, so spawning in the top left, it will be, just totally forgot this player's name, it shows some skills Slugger S2, who's going to be the brown Protoss, and then his partner spawning in the bottom right, it'll be the white Zerg. It will be show some skills green here, so we'll see how that's going to go. It is cross positions on this map, so we'll see how it's going to go down. And then spawning in the top right, competing for uPro Multigaming, or uPro Legends Multigaming team, it'll be Komatsu. I think I've seen this guy once before, and his name seems to come up. And then it's spawning in the bottom left, it'll be uPro's Protoss as the teal Protoss. And yeah, so the teams are going to be a Zerg Protoss versus a Protoss, or Terran Protoss. So we'll see how this is going to go down. It looks like Protoss, oddly enough, S is his name here. We'll be putting down that pylon right now. Nothing really out of the ordinary. But yeah, so cross positions on this map is gonna be a little bit interesting. You know, it's gonna be have to come down to these ridges over here for sure of how we can control this. Because keep in mind, these ridges are very much like Sniper's Ridge. So whoever really can controls the high ground is really gonna have a very, very high, are gonna have a very more than likely chance to get a win in this map. So we'll see how it's gonna go down. Now, both these teams, I don't really know what their skill level is really, as I really haven't casted them that much. uPro, I believe, beat. I believe they beat Walk a while back. I think they like 5-0'd Walk, which was kind of hard to cast. But regardless of the fact, I'm not quite sure if I remember that much, as it's been like 2 or 3 months ago. But yeah. And it looks like potentially a 2-gate. Oh no, it looks like actually we're going to see Cybercorp coming out of Slugger right now. And we're going to see actually a 2-gate coming out of Protoss here, so that's going to see it getting a little bit more, getting out their units a little bit faster in the 2v2, so we're going to see how this comes out to play out in this game, which I don't think is a terrible choice in this map. I think, you know, trying to put the aggression on getting that center map control is going to be very hard to break once you have it, because then again, you are going to have those bridges here. And Bio, I think Bio or Mech would be either or. It really kind of depends on what you want to do. It looks like a mana pylon coming down for Slugger here into Komatsu's mineral line here. I think it just depends on what you want. If you want to be a little bit more stationary, then Mech probably isn't the worst thing. But due to the size of this map, you know, getting a little bit mobile with your units isn't terrible. But, you know, still range units regardless, so it's still going to allow you to get that. And it looks like actually going to be pulling a lot of his SCVs on that part right there on the pylon just to kill it off right here. But the pro's still alive. But once that Marine comes out, it should be killed off. Now Zerg is going for the fastest layer possible, and getting his macro hatch. So we're going to be seeing fast mutas coming out for sure. And still going to be, it looks like what we're going to be seeing Protoss do is going to be putting up his zealots like right over here to stop any kind of Zergling pressure, which is going to be okay. But I mean, because of the, well, actually he's getting speed, so. It will contain green for a little bit, but when the mutilas come out, it's stuck with a terrible thing. Well, actually, I guess I was wrong. It looks like it's just going to be walking up this ramp for the time being right here. And that looks like he's going to be putting down potentially a forge. Kind of weird pylon positioning here, probably just so he can hug this, so he can still, the gas mining is going to be a little bit more awesome. Lynx will be making their way across the map down to Komatsu's base just to see what the heck's going on, maybe. Just looking at the ramp. I mean, it's just continued production on Bio. Probably going to be getting up that timing push with Stim. And if not, the U238 to get that extra range going right there. So, yeah, but we do see... Well, actually, he got gas, and he's... I wonder what he's using the gas for. Slugger is going to be stockpiling that gas for something, so potential GGs, I guess, because, I mean, he's going to be... He got down to 4, so he's going to be teching it for something, for sure. I mean, he's still mining gas. I mean, he's going to spend that gas on something. Storm or Dark Temple or what have you, but we'll see what that gas intake's really going to be going for. But yeah, these kids are trash. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're technically, theoretically speaking. Oh, I didn't even see this. Protest got in the main base and going to be starting to can rush Slugger here, and he does not know of this. And I mean, really, all this would do is he could pretty much stop this aggression by just putting down a cannon right here. But this may change the game drastically. Slugger, you know, is going for a tech-oriented path, not really going to produce too much. I mean, 2 Zealots, and he's already in the base, so he's going to be able to continue cannon rushing his way up there. And it's going to be too late again for him to deal with. And that might just be, if this continues to go off, it's going to be very, very difficult. Now, at the same time, we're going to see Slugger cannon rushing in Komatsu, but Komatsu will have Stim, and that is an artistic pylon here. And Slugger's like, well, whatever. We'll see how this is going to go down. I mean, that is going to be a lot of cannons. That is going to be a lot of investment coming from Protoss here. So Protoss really has no additional tech, so the one thing Slugger has going for him, he will have ranged Dragoons, if I believe it or not. Well, actually, he doesn't even have range. But yeah, this should stop. I mean, he can't really progress further when he has his own cannons up. It's just the DPS and the cannon that are already up. He really won't do too much. That's really how you hard counter a cannon rush, is putting up your own cannons. Like you can see, he won't be able to put up a cannon in time. He's going to start coming in from the bottom right on that base here. Now, Komatsu is going to look very, very, very strong here. I mean, it's going to be like the battle between Green and Komatsu here, because Komatsu is going to have Mass Marine with potential +1 and future of the HL even before Stim. So, you know, that's gonna turn the tide of battle here. It's gonna be starting to get up that factory, so maybe Biomech actually might be or maybe just kind of transitioning out. But you know, with these Meatless out, it's gonna be. I mean, Green really can't go combat Komatsu right now. I mean, he has the hard counter to this. Maybe even get Goliath out as he sees that coming out. He does have 1 cannon, so 2 cannons by his mineral line here. If he just waits for a long enough period of time, Green will have more than enough Needles to just go kill off it. Protoss is losing his Zealots. He has no anti-air, he has no Dragoons yet. He probably just got to start putting down that Cyber Core. Yeah, he will. Now, this cannon rush has been negated, so these cannons really won't be doing too much, which is actually going to put drastically behind for Protoss. Now, of course, if Green didn't point out the fact that there was a cannon rush happening in his ally's base, that might look very different. They're going to be making their way into Protoss's base here, and it's looking very, very grim right now for Protoss. I think he might be able to hold. No, he's just going to quit out. Yeah, there's just too many Mutilas here. GG by Green, and Komatsu has just left the game. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing they could have done in that scenario. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, they did a can rush, a form of cheese. It's a risk versus reward thing. Risk winning the game outright, or risk versus reward for winning the game outright, or risk losing the game outright. That's kind of the down factors of cheese. But yeah, whatever, it could happen. So we're going to game number 2, guys. And the next map will be Othello. So this is gonna be a little bit of an interesting map. Let's just go look it up real quick, because that's the cool stuff we do. Othello 2. Nope. I'm changing. Telling me to change scene, but it's not doing it. Okay. Alright, anyway. Oh, my stream's online. Cool, but I don't. Computer's slow. Okay, I didn't tell it to go to Brood War, man. I didn't. Okay, there it is. I don't know what really happened, but yeah, I'm trying to turn it. Okay, there we go. So, oh my god. Okay. It is a Kespa map, as it does have the Kespa. This map was back in 08, so a fairly older map now. I mean, what is like 4 years now? This map's a little bit old. A lot of games haven't been played on this map. 257, but again, this is a 1v1 map, traditionally speaking, so 2v2 maps gonna be, there really isn't many 2v2 specific maps in Brood War that are used, at least right now. So you can spawn in the 1, 5, 7, and 10 o'clock positions here, so here, 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 and here. Now, what makes this map a little bit interesting here, natural isn't too hard to defend. There are destructible rocks right here. That is a supply something, I forget what it's called. Supply reactor or something like that. You can kill that off and expand that. So lane pressure could be favored on this map if you just start collecting that and just go in the main base here. But again, 2v2 you don't often fast expand on. Your third's way out in the open, so you could take this or this, but they're really out in the open, so it's going to be very hard to take a third on this map. Now, again, 2v2, do you really see that often? No, not really, but we'll see. So we'll go on the map, guys, and we did see this 3S win, or better known as show some skill. So anyway, spawning in the top right, it will be Henan. Oh man, I think this is actually okay. So I'm trying to figure this out here. What are these players? GP and G. Okay, this is gonna be very controlled. Well, Slayer, this guy's down here. So, Slugger. Here, better yet, let's just. I think this is the wrong replay, guys, and I do apologize for that. So I'm gonna go quickly go over what the heck would happen here. I don't really know exactly what happened here, but easy enough. We'll go down and figure what's going on. Okay, so obviously those were not the same players, so I do apologize for that. But the fact of the matter is, what we saw here was we did see a 2-0 coming from uPro. Which is really quite bizarre because I just casted a game where Protoss GG'd. So I don't know what about that, but according to this, they 2-0'd. So apparently the 2v2 series went to uPro, which I can't tell you what's going on. I mean, I could show you guys this right now. I mean, this is actually saying it right here. Hold on, if I can zoom in. It's like so huge, but yeah, you guys can see right here, 2-0 going to that thing. So, anyway, quitting out of that, let's go on to our next series right now, which will be between Graphy and Green. So, first map is going to be on Aztec. Now, let's see here. So 2v2 series somehow went to uPro, which it doesn't really make much sense at all. But we'll see how it's gonna go. So Aztec, it's gonna be very, very interesting. Okay, let's go change these awesome overlay. Show skills. Here, why not put on some music for you guys while I'm just changing up the overlay? Real quick here, have some awesome.
Yo, Ryan, I got a favor to ask.
Yo, what's up?
We've been on the road for hours. Is there any way you could, like, sing a song or something?
I don't know, man. What kind of style, bro?
Can you do, like, in the style of Airplanes, as made famous by Haley Williams from Paramore?
Oh, alright. Onward we'll go on our quest and seek out comfort in the wild. Laying down with fear and shiny chest, push on, oh don't give in. Beyond the hills and streams or the Everglades lies a place, a home away from home. someday we will get that far. We'll steal their crystals from their homes.
Give me F, give me F, give me F now. Give me F, give me fun fantasy. Give me F, give me F, give me F now. Give me some of that fantasy. Give me F, give me F, give me F now. Give me F, give me fun fantasy. Give me F, give me F, give me F now. Give me shit, how many F's is that? I go from town to town. Haters say I'm on the prowl, but who can blame me? These chicks straight NPC. Ha! I trade them shinies for elixirs. I'd give up Gilda seeds and pixels. So come over here, girl, and we'll play in 3D.
Hey, what the hell, man?
What?
I thought we were doing like a nice song thing here.
I'm only expressing my feelings, dude.
You just took a shit all over my song.
Just doing my thing for the ladies.
You know there aren't even any chicks here, right?
I think you're forgetting Boca.
I'm pretty sure chocobos don't count.
I would not say that.
Onward we'll go on our quest and seek out comfort in the wild. Laying down with beer and shiny chests. Push on.
Alright, so, sorry about that. We'll get back onto that. I slightly fixed up the overlay. Sorry, I don't have a professional equipment with me. So, on Aztec, spawning in the bottom right, I did actually change up the player's name again. It will be uPro Legends Multigaming Team's Komatsu as the red Terran spawning in the bottom right on Aztec. And then, oh no, sorry, no, and then spawning in the, at the 5 o'clock, sorry. Let's say 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock will be the purple Protoss. Show some skills green, so let's go change up their colors. Now green was Zerg, if I remember correctly, for the 2v2 series. So some kind of bizarre setting up of the replays. It's one of the difficulties with casting. This has always been one of the things that is not the right purple color I wanted. But Aztec, though, these positions can be a little bit interesting. I mean, we're saying a PVT. Now, the center is not going to be... oftentimes this map's going to have the center is going to be the biggest... It's going to be the biggest point of confliction between in a TVP on this map. We don't even need uPro on this. It's going to be Yep, that's supposed to be Komatsu will be red. And yeah, Komatsu was with Terran anyway, so we'll see how this goes down. Favorite, I mean, their 2v2 skills were like alright. I mean, both players knew what they were doing, so I'm definitely gonna say these guys are like complete noobs, at least in terms of 2v2. Now, does that translate into 1v1? I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it does. I mean, it just kind of shows like the basic principles of understanding the game. Now, I don't know if either player's really gonna know what to go in terms of like their micro and like decision making, but they know the build order at least. Now, what we're gonna be seeing coming out of green here, we're gonna be seeing gas and into gateway. So we're definitely gonna be seeing some kind of tech, most likely some kind of a simulator tech. I mean, some cybercore tech into probably just more gateway. Army probably just gonna get that +1, probably gonna go for some kind of gateway pressure. But we'll see how that's gonna come down. Now, same thing for Komatsu, where Komatsu is gonna be getting gas really fast, so we're gonna be seeing a very quick factory. Now, in terms of will that be a one factory fast expand, or will that be continued production of the barracks? What we can normally see is an FD push, where that comes in with around 4 or 5 Marines, and then you get a tank with spider mines. If you continue on the aggression with getting a couple of vultures with spider mines, making it very difficult for Protoss. But sometimes that pressure is very easily defended off by a Protoss. So we'll see how Green's going to be able to defend this. But if there's no more Marines coming out of that barracks, it pretty much indicates that there will be no FD push. But we'll see how this is going to be going down. Or we might even see just more of a macro style on this map. But we'll see, of course. Of course, it comes down to, generally speaking, what we're seeing. But we do see, range coming up very standard for both players right here. And still producing a couple of Marines here. Did stop for a little while, but I believe he might have been supply blocked, might have been the reason why. But yeah, I believe we're gonna be seeing an FD push. I wouldn't be surprised to see a machine shop being added to this right when the factory finishes. And well, two gateway. Two gateway should be more than enough to defend this off as long as he sees us coming. And well, but you can. But the interesting thing is that will he be getting Spider-Man or Siege Tech? You can get Siege mode if you want to. Except it has a 100% fail rate whenever I see it, so we'll see how it's going to go down. It's just mainly because when you siege up a tank, it does good DPS. I believe even when it's lower, it does a higher DPS regardless, but you get that extra range, but oftentimes it means it's very isolated by itself. But, I mean, maybe just enough for Marine for a bunker, I guess. Yeah, he looks like he's just going to go for a bunker. So I was wrong, but he had the indications of going what an FD push would have been. But you don't normally put up an expand right behind it, but and especially since it's putting down a bunker, yeah. Komatsu's going for a 2-based timing probably. I'd be guessing. I don't really see why LC wouldn't really. I wouldn't understand why he would bunker in so hard unless he was trying to. But yeah, we're seeing a two gate pressure coming from Green right here. Green is going to be setting up his own Nexus right now. And, I mean, what this is just going to do right now is just going to make it a little annoying for Komatsu to micro, setting part of his APM to repair this bunker. But really isn't going to do too much as he got up his factory up in time more than enough to really do any kind of damage. But what that does, though, sometimes Protoss can get like 5 Dragoons continue attacking this before the tank comes out, which, not only loses mining time on, pretty much negates the expansion for quite some time, allowing for the Protoss to get up their expansion, but not only that, it also loses, like, minerals and mining time. It's like, pretty much like stalling for 30 seconds of mining time while that tank comes up. So Siege Mode will be the first tech coming out of the factory. I mean, it's either way. If you put Spider Mines, it can push back Protoss for a little while longer. Now, does that? I mean, I'm not trying to stumble my words too much, but I don't. It's not a terrible thing to go that, but it looks like we're going to be seeing a three base timing coming from Protoss. Definitely not bad. I expect more additional tech going into Reaver drop, so just going a little off their traditional tech path, but that's okay. I mean, I don't really care either way, but the thing to note though is Komatsu is going to be somewhat strong from a 2-base timing push eventually when he starts getting the additional factory stuff, and we'll see how it's going to go out. He's yet to put down another factory yet, so that should be coming fairly soon, I'd expect, unless he's going to be going for a very, very heavy siege tank push, which, isn't terrible. I mean, doesn't matter what race you are, if there's siege tanks outside your main base, it's going to be, moderately difficult to hold that off, so, yeah. Man, I like to realize, though, why XSplit and StarCraft Brood War really take up, like, so much memory on my computer. Even when I have, like, 4 gigs of RAM on this, like, it really shouldn't be that much to really do that. I've just been noticing my computer slowing down for a lot. We'll be transferring a couple probes down to the 3rd. Keep in mind, this is a mineral only, so with that in mind, it's going to be... his tech isn't going to be nearly as strong as what the traditional thing. Is he continuing to produce out his barracks? I mean, he has 6 Marines. Very interesting what Komatsu's doing. I'm gonna be getting down the second factory coming down right now. So, additional Dragoons coming out right now. So a lot of Dragoon heavy units right now. Going for where? So he didn't even really get. Well, it's not really that. It's kind of still early in the game, so just going kind of Mass Dragoon for the time being here. Not really getting a high Zealot count, which more or less for the reason just to stop any kind of... Because right now, Marines can still do some moderate damage, can still be part of a early game pressure against Protoss. I mean, not to say that you ever go bio really against Protoss. You can. It doesn't... like rarely ever work, but it can possibly work. But yeah, we'll see how it's gonna go down. I mean, that's probably the reason why it's going mainly Dragoon just for right now. So any kind of early push is gonna be pretty easy to stop, because I mean, siege tanks are good against Dragoons, but like with this amount of Dragoon versus 3 siege tanks, if they're out in the open and they can kite the Marines all day, and then they can just go up and finish up the tank. So that's probably the reason why he's going mainly Dragoon for the time being. Well, we'll probably see eventually when, you know, leg speed comes up, we'll probably start seeing, you know, transition to more Dragoon Zealot, you know, unit composition. But yeah, I'd expect Terra to go for definitely a 2-base timing. I with +1, potentially with that armory. Or let's just get Goliath as well, but we're not going to see, unless we're seeing a super fast Arbiter, which I believe was probably what I think would be more of a 2-base timing when you get the Arbiter tech up. Cut it for like a bust against the Terran, but you know. Pylons, leg speed's about halfway done for the time being right now as well, so Komatsu is not doing terrible right now, you know, just chilling, just getting up a high tank number. The one issue you have to be worried about 2-base timing with Terran though is if they go for the pressure, which I think is Terran what needs to do on this map just to get that center map control, because if they lose it, it's really difficult to. I mean, it's hard for Terran to lose center map control, but that's what they need to stop any kind of like this consistent aggression coming out of like the late game Protoss. Where I mean, if you're able to stop the mobility of them, you know, making them rely solely on shuttles, I mean, they're not going to be able to reinforce quite as easily. So, but we'll see how it's going to go down. But Protoss is still have a 3-base here, so they're gonna look a little strong for their economy wise, but you know, getting high gas units isn't gonna be the easiest thing. Getting Storm, getting their Arbiter tech up, it's gonna be a little bit harder for them to do just off of 2 gas. So we're probably expecting to see a 4th base somewhat coming up soon. But it looks like though any kind of 3-base pressure has been stopped for the time being. I mean, he has a good amount of army right here, 149 supply. I mean, he's yet to engage, and I'm wondering when he's going to start to engage here, because Terran is bunkering in pretty hardcore. Getting a lot of missile turrets, even though you know, green, I don't even have shown any indications of, you know, a starport yet. I mean, a shuttle and yeah, OBS, but do you really need that many? Do you really need that many missile turrets to stop an OBS? Not really, but just prepping up to the late game, you know, getting us. But yeah, we're seeing both players just powering up right now. Really, no aggression by either player for the first 11 minutes in this game. So, I mean, we're up to what, 3, 6, 9 gateways up to 3 base. So definitely a healthy gateway count for sure at 159 supply to 99. So, I mean, you're definitely starting to see what the 3 base converts into 2 base. But Terran is bunkering up, you know. It's I'm a little not to. I mean, you can do these passive games, and we'll see the major battle happen like in a few minutes, or when this is maxed out, or when Protoss is maxed out, which would be fairly shortly. I mean, 160 supply by like 12 minutes in the game is definitely not a bad feat. But I mean, it's gonna have to come down to when we see that big battle. It's really going to have to come down to Green's micro. I mean, will he be able to get a good concave? Will he get a good stasis field off? I mean, he has Templar Archive, so that Arbiter tech should be coming up right. That's probably an Arbiter Tribunal right now. We may see Storm, we may not see Storm. It can be effective if you can get the High Templar in there, but I mean, very easy just to target fire down certain units, you know. Which is probably part of the reason why an Arbiter exists against this build, because, you know, siege tanks can't attack in the air, so it's harder to target fire that, and that's why Storm isn't nearly as used in, you know, TVP as much, because Storm's good, but it's ridiculously difficult to get the High Templar in there unless you shuttle with shuttle speed in there and Storm really quick, which is very APM demanding. And then we're just starting to finally see Komatsu finally get that, just starting to pull out his 3rd base here and just starting to get a little bit more map vision with the spider mines. But definitely a little bit later in my opinion, but better late than never, I guess. But I mean, Protoss has been I'll be very interested how it's going to go down. I mean, a 3-base, 4-base Protoss now versus a 3-base Terran, or what a 2-base Terran would have been. But, you know, Terran oftentimes can have a very, very strong 3-base play. Very hard to break a 3-base Terran. You know, very much what the... It's very much like, it's actually kind of swapped in StarCraft 2, actually, if you compare those two games, you know. In StarCraft 2, just getting off a little side note here, Protoss is so oriented off what's called the Death Ball, which just is like a super high, powerful, like gas-heavy units and just zealots and dragoons, which is the stalkers, which is the dragoon equivalent in StarCraft 2. And it's kind of a similar way for Komatsu. I mean, what do you call this? A death ball of just destruction? I mean, how do you? It's really hard to counter this. I mean, even with the missile turret, with the Goliath, it's super hard to get the to get the Citizen Shield off, which, you know, makes it much easier to engage. But I mean, you know, these guys are going to be doing what? I mean, 75. I mean, eventually can even max it to 85 damage per shot. And I mean, they even have amp. So I mean, it's really hard to get a good engagement against Terranists, and that's why oftentimes how you know PBT has you know expanded out is that Protoss needs to get a lot more bases. I mean, we're seeing, you know, 3 expands at once here. I mean, here comes the engagement finally, but that is a lot of tank right there without any kind of arbiter tech to really speak of. It's gonna really have to come down to the engagement here, and will he be able to break through this though? Is that gonna be able to find a close distance here? Arbiter is here, but he has yet to save his field. But it looks like Komatsu is just completely Team Deluxe. He really doesn't have Zealous have actually been able to close the distance very effectively. And yeah, that might be just game right there, as it's gonna be kind of hard to reproduce that army. Does have, you know, a decent amount of mech coming back from the right side, but, you know, this is where it just kind of, both players kind of powered up, and, you know, Protoss in this engagement really did a very good job here. Now, it's going to be a little bit more difficult as for two reasons. You know, for one, that engagement didn't go nearly as effective as Spider-Man, weren't as effective in that, and number two, he had a lot of zealots here, so, and it was much of a ramp, and now his Arbiter's gone, so he doesn't have to, now they aren't cloaked. Which, you know, just that much a little less there. I believe he might be able to hold for the time being here, but we're going to have a very healthy amount of gateways and be able to remax fairly effectively. We're already at 165 versus 98, so I think they're looking very good for Komatsu right now, and yeah. Coming up right here. Terran has not really taken a 3rd base right yet, and, you know, part of the reason was this engagement down here wasn't that many Spider-Mines. And I think that's probably what the biggest engagement problem was. What you do is you don't put the Spider-Mans on top of your army, which I remember seeing earlier in the game. I wasn't sure if they were still there, but there was a good amount of Spider-Mans under the tank. So, you know, when the Zealots are able to close the distance there, the Spider-Mans are actually a double-edged sword, pardon the expression, where they actually come off and attack your own units, and, you know, two Spider-Mans kill off the tank. So, you know, keep that in mind. I mean, Zealots have more HP than tanks. They're pretty fragile units in the great scheme of things versus the Protoss units, and yeah. But yeah, I don't see Green possibly losing this. He even has DTs in the mix now, and I mean he's gotta be powering pretty effectively right here. He's even getting up a couple cans at his 5th base here, so he's off a 7th base now. Did he already mine out this base? Well, he's even getting triple upgrades, which I love to see. I mean, his upgrade count coming out of Green right now is looking very strong. If I could click on a unit here, 212 versus the 12. So, I mean, this is actually what a lot of the time I've complained about in TVP. What a lot of Protoss forget is neglect is that upgrades. But again, and at least in this game, you know, there's really been no harassment factor at all. And yeah, but you know, I mean, we'll see how it's going to go down. I mean, again, mech is all about the positioning, and the numbers are for sure, you know, a great part of it, but you have to worry about, see, there you go, like, those Spider-Man can really clear up a lot of these Zealots right here, which is going to make the tanks that much more effective right here. Yeah, I mean, look how effective those Spider-Mans are, and that's why you get a high, you know, vulture count here. Ooh, cycles are going down, and it looks like, ooh, these tanks are exposed here, and yeah, those tanks are... Yeah, with these extra cells coming in, yeah. And yeah, what Green is doing effectively right here is even if they're base trading right now, it's giving them enough time to get up, you know, more bases and etc., which not only allows him to get up a higher gateway count, allows him to remax faster, and from that, he can only produce, what, 3 tanks at once? Yeah, 3 tanks at once. So, you know, with that in mind, I mean, every time he engages, he's only going to have 3 to 6 tanks. Depends on how fast Green wants to go and engage. So from that matter, it's going to be very difficult for Komatsu to come back here. Stasis fielding, not really doing too much. I mean, I'd rather like to see that used for a better purpose here, but maybe we'll worry about the potential happen. And what are the inputs? 2-1-2 to 3-2-3. I mean, you rarely even see, shield upgrades. I mean, he's still going that anyway, so these protest units are just going to be that much beefier to deal with the section back. And remember, Terran is still off 3 base. I mean, really, this game might look a little bit different if he's stuck in like a 3rd or a 4th base from there, but he has it. So Komatsu is going to probably GG, which is what we're seeing right now. But yeah, I think it's much harder for a Terran. I feel like just in modern day, you know, PvT, to do this powering that we saw in this game. I mean, we saw neither player do any kind of harassment whatsoever, and in that regards, what that pretty much means is, you know, Protoss can have free will over what they do. Now, of course, you know, oopsie, that's not the right thing. That's my iTunes. But you know, in that regards, you're going to have a very, how do you say? I want to say, like, Protoss can go and expand all they want. Terran really can't with their unit composition. I mean, you have to. I mean, you could try to go different, but I mean, Brood War with 14 years of balance is going to be, you know, moderately fine. With, I mean, they've pretty much, these are the defined builds for Brood War. You could try to, you know, you could mix in your own playstyle, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to be at that unit composition most likely, unless you're doing some kind of crazy shenanigans, which you're probably going to lose, but that's okay. Alright, so the next game is going to be on Fighting Spirit, guys. And, you know, I think the other thing is that we just didn't see a very well-placed mech in general. I mean, we saw the units very, you know, confined together, which, when the Zealots can close in distance right there, really makes it that much more effective, because Zealots move in, splash damage on the Zealot and tanks, so it's not really that good. But anyway, spawning in the bottom left, who successfully won last game, it will be the purple Protoss, show some skills green here. And spawning in the bottom right, it will be uPro Legends Multigaming team Komatsu, who did a 2-base timing, and then eventually went into 3-base, but really didn't do anything with that 2-base. Kind of pressure, could have, you know, could have harassed, could have done something, but we'll see how this goes down. Fighting Spirit, so we'll have to see how it's going to go down. But I don't even need to change green. I just have to go change Komatsu to a white color. And these positions, I definitely will favor Protoss, because now Terran's gonna have a little bit more difficulty taking that 3rd base. You know, a lot of the time, I've generally said, you know, Terran likes to 3-base on this map, and that's not a terrible accusation to say, because when you look at the terrain of the map, the 3rd is very easy to secure. I mean, you hold off your main ramp between your natural. Between the main ramp, between your outside of your natural, and then you pretty much hold. All you have to do is hold off this one ramp, and then you're pretty much good to go. I mean, what can Protoss do? Send up Zealots here, have 4 tanks here, splash damage, kills off everything. So very easy to take a 3rd, but you know, now Terran's going to be expanding to their opponent, while, you know, Green's going to be going off. So we'll see how that's going to play out. I'd still think we'd see a 3-base Terran, just because it's so powerful on this map. I've seen it win countless games, but as of what we've seen from Green, he's not afraid to aggressively take expand. And both players were fairly passive last game. So, you know, while they built up their like kind of very much like a BGH game, where, you know, everyone agrees to not go take up. I'm quoting Tasteless right here from. I was watching a cast the other day, and he was talking about this, but like, Big Game Hunters, BGH. I mean, a lot of times players would, you know, would agree not to attack each other for some time, and then, if you guys didn't know what BGH was, it was pretty much a map, Big Game Hunters, you can find it, but people made the alternative to making a money map of it. And say you'd one base, you'd get like the biggest possible army you could, and then you would just remax armies super quickly, and you just could consistently fight each other and just be 200 battles, very much like powering up like we saw on Aztec. Now, of course, they didn't remax every time. I mean, Terran, once they were hit like 150 supply, the engagement happened, and Terran couldn't really get up to a high supply count anymore. So, yeah. Now, Terran, I know Komatsu opted to tight wall off here. Now, I think that's even Zergling tight as well. To be actually, yeah, that must be Zergling tight, I believe too. But now that leads me to believe we're going to be seeing some kind of tech that's different here. Yep, we're going to see a 2-factory push, potentially, which, now a wall for Protoss and TVP can go both ways. Now, if a 2-gate pressure comes in before any kind of tank is out, any kind of bunker, any kind of thing that can deal with this, it can be somewhat disastrous for a Terran, because what happens is, I mean, if it's a tight wall off, Marines cannot get to the ramp, because now a Dragoon can get up here, start just, you know, attacking these supply depots, and making it, like, very difficult for a Terran. But, I mean, yeah, wow. Terran's going all in. 3 factories off of 1 base, that has to be all in. Going very, I guess, Vulture heavy. But no, he's getting a tank, though. Maybe a variation to, like, an FD push, but, like, all in with mech. I really can't tell you what exactly was going on. Now, Protoss in defense is going to, what? He feels comfortable. It looks like he's going to go for an expand. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. I mean, Protoss could be like, yeah, I'm going to go harass your supply depot. Now, you can't really repair it because, you know, for one, I mean, you can't get oh, the tank might be in range. But yeah, I mean, once the Dragoons are, like, up the ramp, I mean, it's just the nature of the wall off. I mean, the Dragoons are going to be able to get in there, but this should be eventually pushed up. Might be able to get 1 or 2 SCVs right there. But keep in mind, they only do, I believe, 10 damage per SCV, so they're not the greatest harassing anything against SCVs. But anyway, but it feels comfortable, you know, even though he sees, you know, Terran 1 basing more or less. I mean, this would be the time where he would lift off and go in here. But the longer green should acknowledge the fact that he's 1 basing, should give off some kind of, like, well, kind of in some trouble right now. So I'll be interested in what he's going to do. Will we see another expand? Will we see more gateways? Will we see Kens come up? We'll have to see. But yeah, not actually producing. Well, it looks like he's going to go for an expand, but a very bizarre looking expand. 3 factory expand. Or he's just doing something that I don't know what he's doing. Oh, there we go. Wait. Okay, there comes something expand. This is very odd. Komatsu is going for a 3 factory expand, which off of 1 base in tightly walling off. I had a feeling that he was going to do something. Maybe realizing he can't do anything now, but being a little indecisive here. But what have you? He's getting up his expand here. But Protoss, you know, in this regard, Protoss has even more reign over the map than what they normally do. I mean, he can just chill in the natural if he'd like to. I mean, of course, you know, Terran is going to have the ramp and can eventually just siege up on the high ground, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think he has siege mode yet, and he's just going to be going up here, which is not going to be if he had an observer, this would look a lot different. Maybe he's going to, well, he has a robotics facility. Will we see an observatory coming down? Yes, we will. And I mean, maybe the observer will not be, the observer will not be in time to really do any kind of damage to this, but if the observer was up very, very quickly, could have done something. But yeah, looks like Terran's definitely going to want to start bunkering in pretty hard right now. Komatsu is definitely more of a passive player of what I can say from both games right here, which made him lose last game pretty bad. So, I mean, when you leave a Protoss alone, a smart Protoss will expand a lot. But we'll see if he's a little bit more active. I mean, he has 3 factories up. Will he produce out of them? Oh, if he catches out of position. Oh, he could do a lot of damage right here. We'll see, though. Green looks like he's going to be going for some kind of engagement, but Tank will be seeing him on the back, so yeah. I was going to say there was a small timing window where he probably could have gone and killed off a majority of those tanks there. They are still pretty powerful when they're on siege anyway, but... Dragoons do to their full 20 damage with their psionic phase disruptor, excuse me. Now, is he just going to loop around, or is he going to take his third? If I see an SCV in here, I'd expect a third. Nope, nope. He's going to go for a counter push. I feel like... Yep, yeah, he's going to go for a counter push. Nope, wait. Is that an SCV? Is that an SCV? Nope. Yeah, he's going to go for a counter push against the Protoss, which... might work, except for the fact that there's like a dozen Dragoons over here. I mean, 8 Dragoons that can just sandwich his army, so... And he knows this. Yeah, Green knows, you know, caught whiff of this with an observer, and he's gonna go back and sandwich his army, and... Oh, Green. So well played. The tanks are pretty far back. Will the Dragoons be able to get in there? Yeah, they will, yeah. And even if the, this tank gone. He's off a 2 base. That was a 2 base timing push he wanted to do, or 1 base timing push. That would have looked a lot more scarier if that push happened 2 minutes ago. But I feel like he lost that timing window to do that. I mean, yeah, he has his second base up, but if you want to go for like an early pressure, it's like Terran. I mean, an FD push is probably your best bet. It occasionally wins games. It normally just puts a little bit more of a defensive state on the Protoss, so they're not taking expand willy-nilly. But, yeah. I just got a notification from Facebook to ask if I want to change my profile, like, color. We're seeing 83 supply, 259 here. So, what this is going to mean right now is I feel like Komatsu is going to be significantly behind now. Because now not only... Green is getting... What? I mean, is that 3 more gateways? Yeah, he's going for a bust. Yeah, Green is definitely going for a bust. With that high of a gateway count, with speed almost done, he's adding even a 4th gateway on here. He feels like after an engagement, he can push through the switch. As long as he doesn't run into a Spider-Man, I feel like he can. Now, the one risky thing to do this is that if this push fails, it means for one, now Green's going to be on the back foot, or you got to equal out both players, or number 2, Green's going to be so far behind, it's going to be hard to come back from. But the benefit, though, is he does have a high gateway count. Going to be expanding up to the 3rd as well, though, which, I guess isn't going to go in too all in, but yeah, this seems like a pretty good quick push, and he's even coming down from the south side right here. Tanks are not siege. None of the tanks are siege. Will he siege up in time? Tanks are on siege, so nice. Better not to siege them right in the scenario, at least these tanks right now. We'll be trying to go behind the bunker, though. Will it be enough, though? It looks like it will. Just defend off this push right here. But wasting a lot of those Spider-Man right there. Definitely helping, but it looks like... What's he going to be doing? I think he made too many gateways for off a 2 base. Yeah, you can only do what? I feel like maybe 6 gates, 7 gates at most, probably, for Terran, I feel like. Now he's going to be taking vultures over across the map here. Now, doesn't know about the 3rd, but there will be cams up there, so we'll be able to get a vulture run by. It looks like if the bad AI would allow him to, he does get a vulture run by. Going to put him on Spider-Man in the main base here. Gonna be, a little bit of a nuisance here, killing off 2 fresh Dragoons, too, which is definitely going to be very, very, nice victory for him, but, not actually killing off Probes, which is surprising. Just gonna be continuing to put down Spider-Mines right here. Now he's gonna be able to get behind that Mineron to have some, chaotic stuff happen right here. Wow, so 2, 4. That's exactly what Komatsu needed to do to stay in this game right here, I feel like. I mean, one of the benefits to vultures is that they are mobile. Mech in general is not mobile, but, getting those vulture run bys is definitely something that how Terran can stay in this matchup effectively. And this is exactly what we should have saw last game from Komatsu. Getting that center map control, getting, or just putting on spider mines in general. Now there are 2 cams here, but nope, feels like, oh, we can put down more. Spidey mines down here. I hope he has speed on his offs eventually. Yeah, definitely getting more kills there. Probably just being very cost effective with those anyway. But of course, just to remember though, I mean, this is stalling for time, but Terran Komatsu is yet to take an expand. Which he's stockpiling some money for something here. He's up to a high factory count. Whew. And you know that base is still operational. So you know you got to be a little worried of that. I mean, this base is still not operational. You still have to be, you know, a little worried for Komatsu for that reason. I mean, Komatsu will be coming down for another push here. Now, will it be effective? That will be the question. Zell's gonna be like, yo, chill. Oh, wow. And oh man. Oh, I never changed the overlay to green. No, I did not actually mean to change it like that. Change green to... Nope, oh. Do not mind that. Do not mind that. It was a little negligible today. Putting that up. That is a pretty good... I like to see these tanks spread out more because if I was able to close the distance, these things are gone. All you need is about like maybe 5-6 outs on that bulk of an army, and they are dead guns. So they do a lot. DT's actually out though. So what this could do is harass the Terran on the natural. No. Could stall the third for quite some time if he gets his DTs in there. Obs is going to make the way in the base, but if someone misses the turret, it's going to be very impossible for Green to really do well. So Green is going to have his arm split. And this is good and bad. But the problem is, Komatsu, intentional or not, put his tanks back here. So either way, if this bulk of an army engages, they still have to go attack this middle central joint here, where a lot of Terrans put up their positioning here. Where then, especially when you can attack from 2 fronts there, which makes it a little bit more difficult for the siege tanks to do all their splash damage. But now they are on Spider Mine, so that could be bad. And he's not spreading the tanks out. So here we go. The pincer is going to commence. Will it be enough though? So far that frontal engagement is not doing too well. DTs have been spotted here. But the Northern Army coming from the south is going to be very effective. And yep, this tank count is dead. And just should be a little more effective of those tanks on Spider Mines is never a good thing. And his tank number's gone. He has his 3rd. He has his 4th. Terran's trying to take up a 4th base. The 3rd base in this time, but that will get easily hard countered very shortly. They're going to be cleaning up these charts in the meantime. Will that tank get away? We'll have to see. Come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy. Will you get home? Tommy made it home, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy made it home. But yeah. We're going to have more vultures coming out to the north spot, just kind of checking out any kind of wacky expands or what have you. Will we think that's the 4th or not? We'll be killing off the 4th or the 3rd. Oh my gosh. And that looks like that will be a GG. Is he not going to kill it off? Oh, Vulture, right. Looks like that base will make it home, though. Which is actually very nice to come out here. Some more Vultures will be selling for time. Oh, transferring probe line. Gonna lose a lot of them. We'll be continuing to micro those down. Getting definitely a good number on this probe count right here, but I feel like though Komatsu's way too far behind. He's lost 2 major engagements with the tanks, and you know, part of the reason why a lot of Terrans like to be a little more passive. Now I like this more aggressive style, but his engagements really haven't been that great. So you know, you have to ask yourself as a Terran player, are you able to position yourself in such a great way that your mech engagements go very fantastically against Protoss? I mean, you have to know the map awareness. There's a GG, by the way, by Komatsu again. So we saw a 2-0 win, and you have to ask yourself as a Terran player, can you position your tanks and spider mines in such a way that you can work accordingly to what the Protoss where the Protoss position is. I mean, that's how you dominate as mech. You have to know the positioning. Spider mines are your friend. You put them all over the map. You find out where their army is at all times with your spider mines, and you take that amount of time, especially in a map like Fighting Spear, which gives you more than enough time to position your tanks out. How do you position those? You know, you have to figure that out as a Terran player, and I think a lot of Terrans have difficulty with, but makes it very, very difficult when a Terran gets that into their routine very effectively. Makes it very difficult for Protoss. Here we kind of saw Protoss kind of wrecking everything, but that's just because, I mean, game one we saw a very passive playstyle. Number two, we saw more of an aggressive playstyle, but we saw a very weird opening. You know, like three factory expand. It's a very delayed expand. And he didn't even utilize the third factory, so he could have gotten that expand up much quicker, which is why 3-factor expand isn't, used, not used, pretty much. But we're going to go on next series. So what we've seen is that, I mean, if we just go back here for a second, let's go and double check this video. We saw uPro win. Oddly enough, uPro won the 2v2 series, according to that. But according to what I've casted, Show Some Skillz has actually won that. But now we're at a 1v1, at like a one-on-one basis here. So we'll see how that's going to go down. Next series will between, now of course, this matchup said Graphy versus Green, but it was wrong. So we have one more series test. We have Smile versus, we have uPro Legends Multigaming Team Smile versus, I forgot the other, versus a Show Some Skillz champion. So that's going to be good. First map's going to be an Aztec, because it's a cool map. So let's get into this, guys. So the series is matched up 1-1 according to what I've casted, of course. So let's go back into this. Spawning at the 12 o'clock position, it will be the Red Zerg. It will be uPro Legends Multigaming Team Smile. And spawning at the 8 o'clock position, or the 9 o'clock, whatever you guys want to call it, it will be the Green Protoss Show Some Skillz champion. So let's go change the overlay a little bit. Let's not quit that out of the replay. Now, this is going to make it a little bit more interesting. These are more of the common, positions that I've seen on this map. But, of course, Green was the last person, but he was never actually Green. I'm kind of sad, but... so for this matchup, I definitely expect I definitely expect a forward fast expand. On this map, the distance from your opponent is pretty long, so I'd expect forward fast expand, but that's going to have to come down to either player, what they want to do. And okay, so Smile, I feel like I've casted him once before. And they even just ask if he was another person, so maybe another Smile might be a different kind of Smile, which I don't know, but I'm just showing you the series, not really knowing either player. And we're going to be seeing Champion, looks like going to be wanting to do some kind of, no, scouting, sorry. Okay, just a nice read on their opponent, not really seeing Pool actually before Hatchery, so definitely a bit more aggressive. I'd expect it's probably just going to be pulled for Hatch, not anything crazy, but it actually might have been overpool, actually, when I think about it. Just looking at this, it might have been overpool. I mean, opening builds only tell you so much, in my opinion. I mean, it's just like what you'd rather do, but yeah, we're going to see a Flourish Fast expand on this map. Now, if Smile wants to go for a 3 base bust, most of the time their thirds are here, but actually he's getting the wrong... He's taking his third down in the bottom right. Now, I don't agree with this at all. Most of the time I've seen Zergs of lately take this base down here, as Protoss has difficulty punishing the third anyway, but can be somewhat moderately easily be punished for. But, yep, he's going to be taking the expand down here, actually. Yep, he's going to take his expand down here. Yep. I don't agree with that, but that's okay. Gonna be putting down 2 photon cannons down here. Playing a little bit more safer here, just because of the early game aggression right here. But yeah, a lot of times Zergs will take this base because what they can do is they can SimCity it up perfectly, which makes it so difficult to punish it. So pretty much they just, and since it defends the ramp here, what Zergs are allowed to do is that they're actually able to defend this ramp, which gives them more than enough time to defend this ramp too. They're natural. So, but yeah, it has pulled off a couple probes here. So will it be okay? Yeah. Those double cannons are up, and there's really no way these lanes can really do too much. But you know, the reason why I have a gripe against this base is for moderate reasons. I mean, one, it's so far off. It's so easily to be able to, like, kill off, especially if Protoss knows about it. I mean, lately Zergs have been a little bit more cautious by taking, you know, more closer expands. I mean, even on Fighting Spirit, they take their regular third. But, you know, the benefit to, you know, getting this base, there are definitely some perks. The more I think about this, actually, the longer you have this base up, probably the better it is. For one, it pretty much guarantees you get the main base over here. It's not super hard to wall off. I mean, definitely, if you SimCity this correctly, it's very easy to wall this off if you know how to do it. You know, this is gonna be a little bit more difficult to wall this part off, but you know, again, you get that other expansion. If there's a contain going on, you can, you know, send some more rally units to their base to do a circling run by. There are some perks to that base, but I think, in my opinion, it's just it's too big of a risk to take. But you know, we'll see how it's gonna go down. But I call it the risky third build, but we'll see. Now you can see Hydra. I mean, you can see Spire off this, but most of the time you see Hydra Den, which is just followed up with a lot of Hydra. And I'll be interested though. You know, we saw that one game on Monday. It's Friday now. On that Monday, where I forget which series it was, but we saw the Zerg go Mutalisks, which forced and Protoss got all of their forces up the front door. Because I mean, he still got the Hydrogen, still getting upgrades, but he went for a Hydra, a Spire first, which I'm wondering if that could work. I mean, Corsair, but if you're able to, I mean, he only has one Stargate. I mean, sure, that double Stargate card counts that completely. But, you know, when you only have one Stargate, if you're able to get it up to your Spire, yeah, we're going to be seeing Spire, actually. Now, what I mean by this, though, is what... You still go the Hydra, you still get the Hydra bust going, but I'm trying to think of the word. You juke out your opponent, your Protoss buddy, to pretty much kill off. You do mineral harass, and you not only force back the Corsair, which allows your Hydra to get up that much faster, but you also allow for harass going on, and sometimes you may even force a counter push coming out of your Protoss buddy. Which now again, this is theory crafting, but if you get that push to come out, that means your Hydra have that much more surface area to work around with, making Storm that less effective. Because remember, when you're engaging this, 2 storms, maybe 3 storms. Probably 2 storms would be good enough. 2 storms would cover this entire area, versus here, if you can get a whole arc going, you know, it's a lot different. You know, and I feel like that's what some Zergs should start to doing. Because you know, a lot of time with this Hydra bust, it never works. Because, you know, you get this fast Templar Archives, you get fast Storm, and they push... Protoss sits back up these 2 bases where they go in for this push here, but why? Why bother? I mean, you get wrecked by Storm, and you can't do anything. You can start a Storm Dodge, but where do you go? Back? You just run into a bigger Storm, so... Yeah, I know. I even saw High Templar starting to get queued up. 3 more gateways are up, so... Ooh, DT's actually out, which very, very interesting. Oh, that's a very cost-effective DT, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really know what to name Dark Templars. I mean, I call Zealot Tommy. I call Marines Joseph, and those are the only two guys I know. I mean, I don't really know what to call him, but we'll see. We'll see if Tom is going to be able to do anything in this game. Tom's going to be going back to the natural right now, but now how are these Corsair doing? Ooh, actually a lot of them, but did let the Scourge hit connect on one of them, so that Scourge hit on that guy will kill him off. But yeah, actually there's a decent amount of Corsair. Now the transition, yeah, he got Spire though, but yeah, he didn't go for Meatless, which I was hoping that he was gonna go. He actually went Scourge, which is definitely what you should do to counter these. Taking a lot of hits there, which really shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I'm starting to like confuse my Seer crafting idea with actually standard metagame. But yeah, you normally get Spire anyway to get Scourge to counteract these. But I'd like to see that happen. You know, get those Meatless out. You could even get Scourge out, of course, too, and do that kind of harassment, and then try to see if if the Protest can do any kind of aggression, and then you follow that with a lot of Hydra. But again, we did see a 4th base coming from Smile right here as well. We'll be seeing these first about 8 Zealots making their way down to the 3rd base. Pretty decent Sim City, but only 2 sunken. So, well, I mean, we'll depend on the AI. I believe that might be a tight wall. If it is not, then it might be guard. That will be enough, though. There are going to be a lot of drones here, which we'll start AI blocking. But we'll go off 1 sunken right here. We'll just continue doing it. Yes, it looks like he will. I mean, even if he doesn't really do anything, he's still getting good harassment on the drone count anyway. So, yeah, I would think he's gonna be able to kill this space off, and even getting in more bases here. And this is one of the downsides. How do you reinforce this? You don't. Like, that's the problem with this 3rd. I mean, he may be able to hold on with his Hydra, but if he just does another wave of units, which he's doing right now, this base is gonna go down. And the other thing is, when this base goes down, that means the 4th is super susceptible, which means Smile may just ultimately lose the game from this. Actually, I mean, Hydra Bust has never been. I mean, he's never really accumulated enough Hydra. I mean, 103 to 54. Like, that's kind of a laughable supply difference right here. I believe he's found the other base. Yeah, he has found it. He's going to continue killing this base off. Try to get another sunken here, but 4 Zealots is more than enough to kill off 1 sunken right there. They do 40 damage though, for 20 actually. They don't do their full damage. But yeah, this base is going down. His 4th is going down. They're only trying to send reinforcements of a Hydra, but these Zealots are just gonna be too much, I feel like. And consistently speaking, Champion's been off of 2 base, Champion's been off of 2 base, and just wreaking havoc, and again, showing one of the downsides of taking a 3rd so far off. I mean, we're only 10 minutes in the game, guys, and that Hydra Bust should have happened way, way quicker. Now, of course, I was expanding upon my Seer crafting idea, but I mean, you have to acknowledge the fact that, Corsair do a lot of damage. And you have to figure out how to deal with that. Do you get those Scourge up faster? Do you get up enough Hydra faster? Do you try to do some kind of it's very hard to deal with this. I mean, the opening for Protoss is so powerful against Zerg, and it's maybe it's just because that Zergs take these far off 3rds. And a lot of times Zergs need that extra base in general. I mean, the general rule. There's a GG, by the way, for Smile. And part of the mentality for Zerg is that what they need to do is they need to take an extra base over Protoss. Now, do you punish that base coming up, or what do you do? It's hard to explain. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of build orders out there. But right now, you're seeing 2 base Protoss versus 3 base Zerg. And Zerg's trying to do this Hydra Bust, but they really have difficulty with it. And I'm wondering if Zerg was a little bit more passive for the early stages of the game, could they defend it? But well, I'm just talking on the ideas, guys. Not really going to be defending much. But what we saw there is we didn't really see too much of we didn't really see much of the game of that game going down. We didn't really see a lot of Hydra. We didn't really see a lot of anything coming out of Smile. But yeah, spawning in the top left for game number 2 of this series. Will champion be able to just 2-0 his opponent versus Smile, or will it just be a quick 2-0? Or let me see. Will champion provide a 2-0 for this series, or will Smile spawn in the bottom right as the white Zerg be able to make an ace match possible, guys? So he will be white. He'll be the white Zerg. That was kind of the worst intro I've ever done. I do apologize, but he's spawning in top left. It'll be the awesomely awesome color yellow protons. Yellow protons. Yellow protons. Okay. So what we saw last game, I touched on the map. I think it's Fighting Spirit. Yeah, Fighting Spirit will be map cross position. So, what both players acknowledge this, most probably doesn't really matter. I mean, Forge Fast Expanse it's so meta right now that a lot of Protosses just do it anyway. So, we'll see how it's gonna go down, of course. But you know, now. You know, Smile fell apart last game, so what can he do to change it? Does he get up an earlier Spire? Does he do a 2-base timing? Does he do, you know, a lot of different things? And there's a lot right now. Protoss has, I feel like, the upper advantage in this matchup. You know, get up early Storm, get this Corsair up. I mean, both those things pretty much hard to counter what Zergs are doing right now. Zergs being very predictable of what they're doing right now. And I like to see them change it up a little bit more. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not a strong build, but you know, when every Zerg right now on ladder is doing the exact same thing, Protosses are you know, adapting. You know, it's like, okay, what's most likely going to be the thing? I mean, we even saw like a blind Forge Fast Expand. I mean, it's an opening, and yeah, I mean, well, I've seen 9 out of 10 times you see, you know, a Protest Forge Fast Expand versus Zerg. It's just like that mainstream, and that's not to say it's terrible. It's just, you know, what does the opponent do in response to that? Do they try to find a timing where a Forge Fast Expand is super vulnerable? Do they go for a 2-base Hydra push? Do they go for? I mean, there's just little tweaks in your build that can really start punishing certain build orders, which I'd like to see a little bit more. But I mean, now without like the pro scene really, you know, being that prevalent. I mean, what are you guys seeing? Like half the content from Pro League now. I mean, what Pro League's doing that like half and half kind of stuff, while you know Flash and all those other Bisu and Stork are all transitioning to StarCraft 2. I mean, that's where a lot of these builds come from. I mean, if you look back on Wikipedia, or you know, if you even compare it to the brother of Brood War, StarCraft 2, a lot of metagame builds are from the pro scene, and you know, maybe that's the reason why a lot of you guys are struggling to figure out what to do, because I mean, it's hard to come up with your own build order. That's why the pros do it. They play for so long, they know what to do. They know the timing's down to 100%, and yeah. And we did see, yeah, okay, there we go. Now, Smilesing, I think the more correct build right now is going to be taking more of a standard third right now. So we did see a 3-base Zerg before any kind of tech. So pretty much just pool into 2 more hatcheries, pretty much. Or hatchery pool, hatchery. One can coming up for champion right now, and starting his cyber core right now around standard timing. Now, yeah, that's what I was just saying. You know, it's just I think Smile needs to change up his game plan a little bit. Go for a faster Hydrogen. Go for a bit more of an interesting build. I was gonna say interestingly build, but that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so in order for Smile to win this game, he needs to do some kind of changing up. And does he go Spire first? We'll see. I mean, he has yet to start his Hydrogen yet, which he might be putting down right now. Yep, Hydrogen goes down. So looks like we might be seeing a three hedge Hydra bust, maybe. It looks like it. And that probe's going to be scouting that. Did see the Hydrogen, I believe. And Slayer is finishing. Do we see a Spire first? And you know, when I was talking about that build from just before, I think I found actually a reason why people don't do it. Because it leaves you so susceptible to your third being completely open. Because I think what actually happened in the last games would have been the identical thing. We just didn't see the same units. Last game we saw, I think, Hydrogen and Spire right back to back to each other. But you're spending so many minerals on that and gas that just the timing doesn't work out well enough. So you would either have to go Spire first and go commit to Mutalisks, and then the Hydra timing wouldn't be as strong. I think that's why. So I'm not even going to talk about the build anymore. I feel like I just disproven that theater crafting idea. But maybe one of you guys could try it. But yeah, I pretty much I was just because I've always complained about, or I feel like a lot of times players are very difficult, struggling of what to do against these things, and it's just like standard play to go these units. So there just has to be tweaks in your build that you have to be doing it. But I mean, my idea just doesn't apply because I don't think you have the income to afford it, especially if Protoss realizes that you're doing that, and it just brings like a group of zealots down here because that Hydra time is gonna be done. But again, of course, that's done with scouting information. You can always deny scouting information as Zerg, which can always throw off your opponent in that one, right? But first Corsair will be coming out right now. Well, has not found any kind of actually very nice overlord speed timing right there, just finishing. Of course, using a lot of fire right now, and he did lose it without even getting one Corsair. And does he have the timing before Storm hits? I think he does. I think he found the timing. I think Smile has found a moderate timing before this is done. I don't know why he's not targeting the Forge. Quite yet. I don't know why he hasn't done that yet, because the Forge is... Ooh, we killed up before the DT can come out. Yeah, there we go. Try to target down the Forge. Look how fast that shield did that. Hydra is so powerful. And it's gonna lose +1, and that's really gonna throw up Champion's build order. Now Lings are gonna be a little bit more effective against. He can always, because of that +1 is there to really counteract any kind of Ling. So with that, I mean, he's getting lurkers too. Now, is that the right call for this? I don't think so. With these cannons with detection, I don't think it's gonna be the right decision. But that's okay, Definitely changing it up a little bit more. I'm liking to see that. More Hydra are on the way, but it is cross position, so it's somewhat harder to do this bust as the distance is so long. I'll just say I'm contain, which I prefer, because going into 5 cannons, 7 cannons actually. You gotta be running into Storm. So by the time he was going in, that Storm would have been done. Would there have been enough Hydra? There could have been a timing. I don't know. It would have been worthwhile. I mean, DTs are out. Just at speed, though. I don't know. It would have been very interesting, but I mean, again, with Brood War, you don't know when something's being researched. So, Overlord's going to die. I mean, Zealot's gonna die. So Tommy didn't really do much with his life. He just kind of took there and just took it from the Hydra spines of Needle Spine from the Hydra. But in a way though, Protoss's build actually counters Lurker anyway. Because we're probably gonna see a lot of High Templar coming out. Just for Storm. And just getting okay, yeah. He's learning to deal with these Lurkers. He knows the Lurkers are out. He's getting he's getting range. He's gonna be starting to get Dragoon High Templar out. Oh, DT is out. 5 drone kills so far. Very nice. I don't even know how he snuck it behind everything. They're over. Beautiful, actually. DT is gonna be making their way into the base here, but will soon be deflected away, or not. Or not. Yep, he's still getting kills, and he's not acknowledging it. Yep. You have units, my friend. Smile. You can use units. You can. Oh, come on! Just use them. Dude, what are you doing? You have 2:20 APM. Come on, man. There you go. But that DT had like over 10 kills. Oh, he's gonna do a Hydra drop, but why? That was ow. Ow, Storm. Not. Ow. Great. Ow. Overlords are dying. The drop really didn't do too much. Ow. Ow. Yeah, and the problem was that drop could have done a lot more damage if he didn't lose two saturated bases of drones. Or like 15 drones from that one sole DT. But yeah, this what's really gonna do. It's gonna, throw off, champion a little bit, but I mean, 7 cans at the front door. There's really no risk of being attacked from the front door. May lose a high Templar though, which would be pretty good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more annoying, but he's gonna have DT coming out without any kind of storm, so these looks are dead. So yeah, I mean, champion's doing everything he needs to do. I mean, he's gonna have DT. He's gonna have a DT out to deal with any kind of incoming drop again. He has Corsair up. He has Obs out to detect Lurker. Lurkers can't really run into this area again. We'll be still behind the mid line here, but nice. How many kills? 4 kills. But I'm not really sure how many kills he got. It's a very bizarre, but very, very entertaining game. Do not mind MVP Walk. He just always gets on when I'm casting, of course. Round number 2 is going to be commencing here. What's his drone saturation on his natural? He has 3 drones on 2 bases. Wow, and his main is not even that saturated. So, yeah, the saturation on Smile really isn't that great, but anyway. Alright, so Hydra are out. Oh, that's gonna die. Oh, ow. Okay. Yeah, Smile is just trying to win a game, but I mean, Champion really hasn't taken super economic damage right now. I mean, looking at the saturation of his base compared to the main base, like, that's like the saturation. His natural is like the saturation of Smile's main base. Look at the natural. Okay, it didn't look to this as. It looked a lot worse. And these are all drones. So yeah, he's starting to drone up. It really acknowledges the fact that he can't really do anything, and the counter push coming from Champion is going to happen. Yeah, I mean, Champions is contained right now, so it's giving Smile enough time to drone up. And yeah, so it's allowing him to get drone up, pretty substantially, even though it's saturated with 5 drones, which he absolutely needs right now. Getting him more overlords. Use those drones right now. Of course, they're making the way over, and because he's been droning so hard, he's not going to have so many Hydra. So, yeah. And, that's another interesting part. When I was looking at the saturation of both bases here, I mean, 3 bases. The macro hatch rate is used for on the 3rd base, and you get that extra hatchery going. But I wonder if you droned harder off a 2 base, getting your macro hatch up, but droning harder, and then go for the Hydra. Well, okay, there's a GG. There's some kind of Korean something jibber jabber that my game doesn't display correctly. But that's an interesting point. If you drone up a lot harder as Zerg, but not surprising to me. Smile did not seem to be didn't know how to deal with Protoss that effectively. And I'm just trying to figure out ways that he can deal with it more effectively. Now, I'm not going to say Zerg is at a disadvantage. I can definitely say that Hydra Busts are very effective against Protoss. But when Protoss is executed well, how do you defend it? How do you defeat it? So, it's a very difficult scenario to deal with, and makes it very, very interesting to cast. But I'm just trying to think of different ways. By just looking generally, I mean, at that game, drone saturation really was not that great. Now, again, that I believe is just generally what happens with Zerg for the early game. They continue to pump out units, not really focusing much on teching into macro, because what they do what Zergs do right now is that, again, it's not bad. It's just like, okay, so they go for very fast, extractor, go to fast layer, and then from there go Hydra or Spire. You normally get Spire anyway, just so you can deal with that Corsair harass going on. So, I mean, there's the interesting thing, could you put up enough Spore colonies to defend? Yeah, sitting off 2 base. There's just so many things that I want to try as Zerg, but I'm so bad at Brood War, I don't think I could actually execute them well. But maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I can get back into Brood War and just test out some build orders, maybe. As I've had so many, I've obbed so many games. Like, there are things that are in my head that I think would work, but I'm just trying to communicate that to you guys. But again, you guys play it, so you guys may know what happens. But is that the last series? I feel like that's the last series that we've casted. Division B2. We've done that one. Yeah, that's the last cast. For today, I guess. Well, I'll be back in like 5 minutes just to, well, no. I have to go to a wedding soon, so I can't actually continue to cast. But what I wanted to acknowledge, though, is that what we saw. We saw, excuse me. We saw 3 matchups. So we showed some, we got pretty, well, of what every game, oh, see. Of what every game that I've seen, showed some Skillz has won every series. You know, the 2v2 series that we saw. And I will give you spoiler alert. The 2v2 series, if you're tuning in now, there were 2 reps, but which would mean that whoever won game 1 would have won game 2. So that being said, Show Some Skillz won, not uPro, at least I think. And because of that, but the website says differently, so go with the website. But so from that, actually, Show Some Skillz won, if I remember correctly. Game number 2 went to, actually went to uPro, I believe. And then, yeah, so it's actually kind of mixed out, but Show Some Skillz did win in my opinion of all the games that we've seen. Again, we've only seen 3, but if we go to iCup real quick, we'll go on to game number, ooh, wow, that's really zoomed in right there. Okay, hold on. Let's go to Clan League, because it's only StarCraft, and then Division B2. And then we're in week 5 between uPro Legends and some. So Show Some Skillz did beat this series 2-3. But sadly, I don't feel like this got enough coverage. It's probably why they didn't really upload the reps as much. But I'm hoping for the coming weeks that the next incoming replays I do have better. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the series. So we did see Show Some Skillz win. There really weren't that many replays for this to go along with, and I apologize for that. It's just the players do not upload them, so I cannot get them. But I am, for other news, like, just to quickly sum up stuff, tomorrow, depending on when I get off work, depending on when I start work, I'll be doing the series between... Let's check. We're going to go into week number 6. Now, we have... Nope. Okay. Week 6. We have LRM versus Noob Team. I have to go all the way back. Are you kidding? Alright, hold on. We have Pain Clan versus Salvation Army again. So I guess I'll have to rewatch the Salvation Army for that one, as I don't really remember their players. And Division B2, we have Walk! Yes, but there's no blue! What? No! Damn it. I need to see more blue reps. I love that guy. But, that's gonna be a fun series. I might do Walk tomorrow. I don't know. Actually, none of these are actually a bad series, so we'll see how it's going. And then other news, I believe I'm casting... What's it called? I was just, like, looking, and they said they needed, team. It's actually kind of unfortunate, because I made a forum post on the StarCraft 2 General about, like, where you can find a certain topic, but apparently you can't make a forum post on that on Team Liquid, and you get banned for 2 days. So I actually got banned for 2 days, which is kind of sad, but just sharing my awesome thing here. But yeah, what do we have here? It's D-Rank's individual tournament season 2. I believe I got a PM from the dudes, like, yeah. Oh, it's like, do you need a caster? And it sounded like there's, like, a lot of casters, but apparently, yeah, they haven't given me the reps yet. So I'm doing, actually, I could read you the PM. Let's see here. PM. Casta says, quote, sorry for the long answer, I was traveling. Yes, gladly. I think if you don't have anything better to do, if you're better to cast, you could do the round of 8, semifinals, and finals. I'll put Pui to send you the replays already played tomorrow, and if you can give me an email, just thanks to casting. Cheers. So yeah, I'm casting round of 8, semifinals, and finals. So that's gonna be fun. But I'm the amateur caster, so go watch. Actually, there's actually some. I swear I thought I saw something. Yeah, actually, Noise's ACL finals are up right now. Casted by Elegant, I think. So go watch that. That's C rank, so that's more of a meaty play style. The clan league's all over the place. So, but if you want consistent level, that's live right now. Actually, go on the Team Liquid post. Actually, I could post it to you guys right now in the chat if you want it. But man, okay. Pause. I don't want to actually listen to it right now. I'll listen to it when I'm done live. But yeah, here you go. There it is if you want it. Imbatos or whatever the guy's name is. And that, I think, concludes Clan League, guys. Sorry for anyone that's just tuning in. The VODs will be up tomorrow. And there's my dog. And Mom. What do you want?
Jerry, come here.
What do you want?
I want him in here.
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
And I also want to get some.
Yeah, I'm live, so yeah. Jerry. Is she here already?
Yep.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so you can go watch him live, and I think that pretty much concludes it because I'll be probably doing. I feel like I'm probably gonna do walk tomorrow. I don't know. I kind of actually want to see all of them because walk and so it's really good. Jerry. Oh, look at my dog. Look at my dog. He's so beautiful. He's so beautiful. But he doesn't like me. Good dog. Good dog. Okay, and he's gonna start scratching on the door. But yeah, that pretty much concludes it. So we saw you show some skills did win. You guys got the cast done of what the replays I have. I will point out though, if you do have ladder games of Brood War that you want casted, that I'm totally fine if you want to send the email to International Cyber Cup. It's international.cyber.cup.tv@gmail.com. They're all spelled out. So instead of iCup, it's you get the idea. But if you want replays casted, go for it. If any kind of LOL games, I don't really care. I'll cast them. But yeah, pretty much done for the night, guys. Have a great day. I did do the day. I'm gonna try to get these things out daily, as it is the summer. But I have a wedding to go to, and I'm not really entirely thrilled to be on it because I want my Brood War. But guys, thanks for watching and have a nice day, guys. Peace.